Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dániel Deák, and I will be the host and the moderator of this panel discussion. The humble title of this panel talk is The Future of Animation, which is quite a wide topic. And my idea was that we can basically talk about anything now, because animation is everywhere in the world. It's on our smartphones, on each website, and in live-action feature films there is animation as well. So it's a very, very wide and complex phenomenon. But now we will rather talk about the artistic part of animation, the educational aspects, and the commercial and innovative aspects of this industry. And before we would jump into the topics, I would present my dear fellow panelists. I'd start with Tibor Bánóczki. Graduated from the Nagy University, and then he continued his studies at the National Film and Television School in the UK. In 2007, he founded his studio, Domestic Infelicity, with Sarolta Szabó. After several successful short films, their first feature, a feature animation film, White Plastic Sky, premiered in 2023 at the Berlinale, and they are now currently working on their second animation feature, The Wild and the Tame. Tibor is also the head of the Animation Master Program at the MOME University. Bálint Gelley, he also graduated from MOME a little bit later than Tibor in 2012. Then he founded the Cub Animation Studio with Bella Szederkényi. They produce many short animations, TV series, and several other projects in connection with animation. And he also works as a director and producer at Cub, and also a lecturer. And last but not least, Viktor Nagy, who represents Wonder Visual Network, which is an independent animation production studio based in Budapest. He's a founding member, and he also has a degree in software engineering. So he's a serious man in the room full with artists and film theorists, just like myself. And he's also responsible for production pipeline and surrounding technical decisions, while also doing 2D and 3D animation. The studio, Wonder Visual Network, the productions of the studio include the short animation One that premiered at the Expo 2025 in Osaka. And they also produced Hello Humans as a web series. So I'd start with a quick fire of questions regarding the Hungarian animation scene. What is the best and what is the worst segment of it from your point of view? Let's start with you, Viktor.
Worst and best segments? Mm-hmm. Well, good question. Well, worst segment from our standpoint, and as it was said, we're an independent studio, is getting funding and figuring out how to get our productions to a wider audience. Mm-hmm. So that is what we're having difficulty with. Obviously, for me, having a background of like software engineering and a very heavy engineering and technical background, what I enjoy most is like figuring out the tools, figuring out new ways of doing the production, figuring out new pipeline stages, texturing, whatever, what have you. That is what I enjoy most, of course.
Thank you. Tibor?
What is the best part? I think it's a living and thriving medium at the moment in Hungary. I think I can say that it's probably one of the most successful medium now or genre in the Hungarian film. I think in the last decades, this is the best part. The worst part is that very very uncertain world, very unforgiving world where, you know, maybe the young people are arriving to until now, until this day, because now, today, as you saw in the morning, everything will change.
For me, the best part probably is the community. I think it's a very friendly and free thinker community we have in Hungary as animated filmmakers. And also from this comes this special kind of visual storytelling that developed during the, I don't know, last, quite a lot of years. But even recently, as we can see all the successes as the animation industry has, as Tibor mentioned, worldwide, it says that this kind of visual storytelling and the kind of, I would say, humor we have is quite interesting, not just for us, and this is something that we can build on. But the worst part at the moment, I think, as it was mentioned before, that it's quite unpredictable, especially the funding part of it. And even though I think we have the capacity, the talent to be much more impactful in the worldwide stage, we are struggling because of the unpredictable nature of funding.
Yes, we will talk about the funding part a little bit later, but now I would direct the conversation to the talent part. You mentioned that there is a potential talent-wise in the Hungarian animation, and it leads us to the question of education. On the surface, it seems that everything is super fine, because we have, or MOME has graduation films all over the world-class film festivals, Berlinale, Cannes, Annecy, of course. But if we go deeper, I guess there are more problems coming up. But Tibor, as you represent a university here, maybe you could give some insights.
Yeah, it's a very complex question or problem, because as a teacher or as a head of the master program at the moment, I have to say that every educational institution should have an identity. And you know, all the criticism what we get from the industry, I think, you know, the MOME is an elite art university. So what we care mostly, that we want to raise artists, you know, individual artists in the animation side. And the problem comes from the industry, because the industry thinks that we should also educate craftsmen, which I think is the responsibility of the industry. Second, that where to educate these craftsmen in a very unpredictable industry. So I think, you know, I believe that the MOME has an artistic identity, and but we have to also, you know, for the truth is that not all of our students will be successful. But I will say something very, very provocative. Apologize beforehand. I don't know if you know that in football academies in England, you know that for one David Beckham, there are 20 other children who has to they all have to play football because the one David Beckham have to play with someone. And in the English football academies, they call them the meat. You know, these people, the people who will never be really successful football player. At the moment, we want to raise David Beckhams of the animation, and but of course, we also want to give platforms and a career for all of the students, but it's not possible, and we have to accept that because it's a very, very unpredictable. The art world will always be unpredictable.
And how can you manage these expectations? Because I'm pretty sure that students have very high expectations towards themselves, and seeing that other students or elder students have this very, very successful festival tours and stuff. So how can you either prepare them to present themselves as potential world stars, but to get these expectations lowered, avoiding the bad outcomes?
I think we cannot really take out the stress and the expectations. It's there. I think what we can do is to talk about it a lot, how festivals are working. I mean, you know that really well, how, what's happening if your film won't be selected to Annecy or Berlin or Cannes. Is there another life? And I think what we want to prepare them, that how can they make another artistic project, because I think this is they say that it's not the first album, which is very difficult to make for a band, but it's the second one. So, yes, they are coming with huge expectations, and we don't have to turn them down or turn down these expectations. We have to talk about it. That how can they survive if things aren't coming as fast as they expect?
And Viktor, from your point of view, as a dynamic, smaller Hungarian company, how do you see the problems we mentioned regarding talents, craftsmen, and other animation professionals?
Yeah, I would say we have to juggle around with 4 categories of skills, and I don't know how easy it is to teach all of them in an institution. We have to be proficient in the tooling skills, using all the tools, and then we have to have artistic skills. Also, we have to have some PR skills, and then we will have to have some salesman skills. So all of these are, what I can say from experience, very hard to master. And it's very good to have a team of very different talents, so technical, and then people with illustration skills, or our production manager, Lati, who is basically from television, so he has background there. So what I think is very important to understand is no one is a jack of all trades. You have to have some kind of specialty, but you have to understand and respect all the other categories you have, and you have to be able to work together as a team with all the other professionals as well. And I think that is also a learned skill. So you have to respect people, try to get the team together.
And how do you recruit people if you need more people for a certain project to jump in or to join? Do you work with freelancers, or do you have a constant team with co-workers, or how do you manage that?
We have mostly a constant team, because what we did is we didn't set out to be an animation studio. We just had an idea what we wanted to create, and we also already had people on board who wanted to actually take part in that creation. And then we had other people who've seen it and they said, "Oh, this looks great. Can we somehow help?" And then it just, the snowball got rolling from there.
They approach you and then you can select, basically.
Yeah, although I wouldn't say like there is a like 100 people queue we have to select from, but yeah.
It's a convenient position, or it's a better position if you have to somehow...
Being independent, who you want to work with is basically, they have to understand the ups or downs. So it's basically, I think, a bit a narrower like field of people who want to do that, because maybe you have to get your own gear or you have to figure out something on your own. And yeah, so I think that is, from a certain point of view, that is a good part of this.
Okay. And are these people mainly from institutions? I mean, do they have proper animation education, like
50%? I would say 50%.
Okay.
So someone's like, can they just somehow join, and then you have to learn animation from the ground up? But and getting back to the education part. Someone just doesn't get through that part. Someone says, oh, this is not for me. And then they continue with something else, because even though we're independent and we may be willing to work with anyone who likes what we're doing, but if you don't want to learn the skills, and those skills are, I think, very hard to master, then this is not for you.
Yeah. I have to mention that it's a little bit inconvenient position that we all are male panelists, and female animators aren't represented here. It's a pity, even if in the animation industry they are very well represented, especially among Hungarian animators, animation directors. The most successful up-and-coming directors are female, and we are really proud of them. But it's interesting to see that at MOME, as far as I can measure or judge, the female students are really overrepresented as well, especially in the MA studies, and I had another observation that when I visit a company like yours, or even bigger companies, the big part of the workers are male. So I have a, I don't know, a theory that maybe the male animation professionals jump this part of the studies to be in a school, spending years studying something, and they want to get right to the point and start working on actual projects. Is that right, or is it really something?
Well, I don't know. I think we, if I look at the team, we're 50-50. So we have, as you put, I think exactly as many female as male coworkers. And yeah, I think, for example, what I can say, and that is basically absolutely just my experience, is like who we work with female animators, they are like the most like precise, like the best part, the most tedious part of animation. They're very good at that. So
okay.
I don't know how much they don't want or want to jump that or something. Like I can't judge that, really.
All right, Bálint, you as a producer and as a co-owner of a production company, you take over the talents from MOME, and you have the task to navigate them through the early part of a professional career. And how difficult is this?
For us, it's not very difficult, but this is coming from our past, I believe, because both Bella and I were students of MoMA animation, and we started the studio with an idea that we want to do like artistic projects, but also to preserve the artistic approach also when we are working on more commercial projects. So at the moment, we are mainly working with people that came from MoMA, and I think it works very well. What I was thinking about listening to you, Tibor, is that I think what's lacking probably in Hungary is not really would be not a task of a university. So when we are talking about animators or just like somebody who's specialized in background design, these people can come from, of course, a university, but it doesn't have to be the case. What is also a bit of a problem is that we are a small community, and if there's like a big feature film or even two in the production, it is very hard to find, for example, animators for a service job, because those kind of animators that can work on the level that is needed for like a big cinema film, they are busy working because there's not a lot of projects going on usually. So I think there is a kind of a catch-22 situation here, that we don't really have projects going on at the moment, but we would want to have more projects. But then when those projects come, we kind of like crawling for the same people in the profession. So that's kind of so when people, I think I feel that sometimes MoMA gets this critique that they need to train more professionals that are not really I would say an author or an artist. I don't think it should be MoMA's job, but I think that it's still I can say that it's a valid problem for the industry, that most people that are getting into the profession, they are coming either from MoMA or METU or some other university, and these universities have similar profiles, so they are all training artists, and sometimes the industry needs not exactly that, and that is why this discussion is going on, I believe.
And Tibor, you said that it's the industry's responsibility to train professionals. How would this possible? I mean, now the industry is not in its best shape, and as Bálint mentioned, it's quite hectic and unpredictable how they would operate and how many projects they could manage. So and then it would be another task to manage to train people.
I mean, yeah, I've been listening this question about there are not enough animators, and then why we have so many directors in the past 25 years, and there were always kind of ideas like one of the studios said, okay, that they will run some kind of mentorship or kind of short course for training people. Never happened. Then now MoMA is doing some kind of short courses for actually training people for the industry. It's always the problem when when a studio has suddenly a job, they need people immediately. So, and then whether they find someone or not, it's it's their problem, and then they don't think that then suddenly when they don't have a job, they don't have a big film, that they don't need people, so that they don't feel the urge to train people. The problem also what Bálint said, that like in a bigger country like France, which is the best kind of animation industry in Europe, they have several schools, and those schools have their very narrow identity who they train. Like if you want to be a director, you don't go to Gobelin, because Gobelin trains different kind of people. If you want to do artistic film, you go to each school has their own profile. Now the problem that we have probably 3 big kind of animation university, and they expect everything from us. That we should have amazing background artists, amazing 3D animators, but amazing directors, animators, etc. And this is unfortunately is not possible, because we would need 20 different kind of curriculum for these students, which we don't have.
And you experienced this as an artist as well when you made your debut feature, which took a while to finish.
Yeah, of course. I mean, especially, it was a time when suddenly 3 feature films were in production, which never happened in the past like 50 years. And then suddenly it was very hard to find people. Now there is no feature film in production, so people are going. In different kind of jobs, unfortunately. This is something which now is the time that the animation community should think about the strategy, the predictability, how we can put bigger films, series, feature film in production or in the pipeline that we know that maybe in 4 years we should have a feature film in production, because now there is nothing, and I'm telling you that maybe in 5 years there won't be a feature film in production series, I don't know. So this is what we have to work on, because for example in Czech Republic this is working really well.
Yeah, you got my question. What I wanted to ask from Bálint, that is this a Hungarian specialty to have this kind of unpredictability or hectic way of organizing the industry, or do you see similarities in neighboring countries or in the region?
I think at the moment, I don't know for sure, but I think we are in the minority with this, I would say. So most countries organize their animation better. And what we worked on, and I think that's coming back to this morning's presentation about the reform of the Hungarian film. So I'm also part of the Hungarian Animation Producers Association, and together with the Artist Association, we created a program, or like a plan for Hungarian animation. And I think one of the most important thing in that is that this continuity, so that we actually have a plan. Because in the last couple of years, let's say, the problem was that there was, so like making an animated feature is a long time. It's like at least 5 years, but it could be more. And there was a time when there was like 3 in the pipeline making, and then when people applied with new ideas, there was a comment that there's too many animation now, even though if those films were just in script, so like that it wouldn't compete, because it would be like a couple of years after then those films are done that these films are done. So I think what is really lacking is kind of a plan to think ahead and know. And this is like what we talked with Tibor before, that, for example, as you said, Czech Republic, they already know like what films are going to be made way before than we. In Hungary, we at the moment, I think there's one in pre-production.
And yeah, and the difference can be the ecosystem as a whole. I mean, the television or the broadcasters, the public broadcasters in these countries like Czech Republic, having much more responsibilities and funding activities towards animation.
Yeah, so most countries have a much healthier variety of funding possibilities, and part of them are the broadcasters. But for some reason in Hungary, broadcasters usually do not pre-buy projects. And I don't know why this happened, but I think it was for some reason they thought that if there's like funding from the state already, that they don't need to contribute. Actually, with some short films, what was the biggest problem is that if you want to make a short film, you need to get a public or a nationwide broadcaster on board. And even for free, they wouldn't take short films because they didn't want to program it. So yeah, I think like there is a lot of steps to make a much better ecosystem for creating animation. And I think that would also bring on what we discussed before, because studios such as ourselves, of course, we train people for different projects, but we would make it, I can say that it would be a much bigger effort in this field if we know that that we can work with this person again and then again and again, and we have a plan how it's going to go. Because it's very hard to train somebody for some profession, and then that person will go in another studio, and your training is kind of helping your competition, I would say. Even though it's a very friendly community, I would say, but still, it doesn't make sense for most studios to do this.
Yes, it works the same at film festivals, that we are all independent festivals, but we all work with freelancers, and we train the same freelancers. Now we have an ambition to build a database to at least know about these people and somehow coordinate their job, which is good for us and good for them too. It's something similar could be a solution in film production or in animation project production too. You jumped into the content field not too long ago. What made you to start building your own IPs and own stories?
Well, sorry. So we had an idea, and then we just wanted to make it and see if people liked it or not. So I think
it's easy like this.
yeah, and that's what I wanted to pivot to a bit. So yeah, if you decide you want to make it, and then like for example, someone has another job, as I think Bálint also said, like you're trying to manage, for example, a company in parallel or something. But if it's a love project, then there is a certain situation when like there's money is no option or time is no problem or no object situation, and then you just make it, and that doesn't really make it much easier because you still have to put in the work and you still have to buy the gear, as I said, and everything else. But for example, you don't necessarily have a deadline, so because you try to set your own deadline, which then you set again and set again, whatever. But yeah, what made us jump into this industry is basically because we want to tell stories, and that's what we're trying to do. We have a lot of other ideas in the pipeline, and we'll see if, for example, the financial environment would get a bit better or not. We'll see. But yeah, what made us come here is we had ideas, we had stories to tell, and then we made them.
And do you finance these projects on your own, or did you have sponsors, or how can you make it sustainable?
We financed it on our own, and we're trying to find sponsors, of course, and distributors, and we have met in Annecy. We are trying to, of course, find sponsors there as well, and it's, as I think Bálint has said, it's an industry that is very friendly and tight-knit, but there's a lot of competition, and there are like a lot of very good studios and a lot of good stories others want to tell as well. So it's not easy competing in that environment.
But what was your concrete experience in Annecy last year when you started to market your projects?
That I'm not a salesman, but I would like to become one. That would be very good.
We all.
Yeah. So that is one experience. The other one is that, like, for example, again, Bálint said, like, they don't, for example, some people don't pre-buy something that's not finished yet. But then we went to some stands and they said, oh, we don't pre-buy stuff. We said, but this is complete. Oh, but it's not the right length, or it's not the right theme, or it's not the right whatever. So
why is it finished?
Yeah. So then it's, again, like, if it's finished but you don't like it's not easy to get into that circle. But I think the other thing you have to do is you have to persevere, and you have to try again and try again and try again, and we'll see what will happen. Like, we also have, again, sponsors in the queue, negotiations. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I see now that the industry is in a creative chaos. I would like to call it like this, because there is a very large amount of content on the market, but there are new and new platforms coming up, and it's very difficult to make these two sides connected.
Yeah, it's moving very fast. So, like, one week or 1 month, you're like, oh, you want to make a YouTube series, but like, YouTube is not really the meta right now. So then you want to do, a Netflix series or whatever, and then it's kind of like, it's hard to keep up.
Yeah, and in this this creative chaos, as I called it, now what could be your unique selling points as a dynamic small Central European company? So how would you stand out in the queue of Annecy, let's say, or of the global animation market?
Well, I think two things. First, if we have a good idea and someone likes it, that's instantly something, how we stand out. The other one is we work really fast, because it's like, we're not doing it for like any money. It's not like your day job, and then if you're an animator, it's like, 4 o'clock, you lock the computer and then go home. Like, and also because we know that we are like starting up, and also we are not like a huge company, and that is quite often the things I do is we try to use technology to our advantage and try to make things much faster, like whatever rendering pipeline, animation techniques, whatever you can speed up, whatever you can use in the existing tooling you have, or if you can write scripts. And I think my coworkers are now getting the shivers, because I love to write scripts. But if you can speed up things, that helps a lot. And I think this is one of our selling points, is like, I think what most studios would do, like in, 2 years' time or whatever, we can do it in like half the time, because we just want to do it. So we keep on going. We enjoy, we want to learn, etc.
As a festival director and programmer, I always meet the question. Now I'm answering journalist questions, let's say, right before the festival, that how AI modified or affected the festival program, and I can say nothing, because of course we use AI tools as practical tools to manage our lives and to manage the festival as well, and of course it's in our operation, but from artistic point of view there is no effect on the program, because, and that's my assumption, that the artistic animation and the other industry part of the animation is very different, and at the artistic segment there is no AI present now, as much as I recognized or understood. Let's start with you, Tibor. I know you like this question very much, so please, the floor is yours.
What's the question about AI?
Is it present in the artistic way of animating?
Yes and no. For example, it's very strange that MOME students are really afraid of AI, and they hate really. They hate it all. I think they hate it more than, for example, my generation. I think we are much more, I would say, like curious in a way. But a lot of our students, or most of our students, see it as, some kind of, I don't know, something which comes and will destroy. Destroy the world they want to step into, which I understand, because what they saw in the past years, that there were some very successful students who established studios like Bálint, but there are even younger ones, and they worked in the they worked in the commercial industry. And this is what they see now, that the commercial industry is demolished by AI. But I think it will come, and I think it will also be a good help for maybe very, very independent projects, or this is when I started MOME in 1996, there were people who knew Photoshop, how to use Photoshop, and other people didn't know how to use Photoshop. And those people who knew Photoshop, then they became the big people in the Hungarian commercial business. They were the first ones who, it's not a question whether you use Photoshop or not. I mean, everyone uses Photoshop. So I think the question is how you will use the AI and what for. Because it will be there. Maybe someone will use it for the tedious animation jobs. Someone maybe will use it for, I don't know, writing something, and that will be shit. But maybe, because at the end of the day, I think when I get two images from AI, I have to choose which one is better, and this is the choice of the aesthetic. This is the choice of some kind of artistic education. So what you see now, of course, is the kind of the McDonald's of AI, because this is now very easy to produce. But I'm sure that there will be a time when we won't see the difference, and when the good artist will use it in a good way. And then, someone said that humanity is a survival. That's how we got here from I don't know how many thousand years. And because we always live to live with someone, a different kind of life form. And AI is a different kind of life form, and now probably we are learning to live with it. And of course, it's very scary. And of course, it will, unfortunately, probably kill half of the industry. But when servers came in the Industrial Revolution, it also destroyed a whole industry.
Yeah, but now much more people are in the subversive industry, textile industry than that time. So maybe it won't kill us. I hope not. Certainly not us, but half of the industry, but transform them to other tasks or
well, the problem
positions.
is that if you follow what's happening in the animation world, that it's already started. So I think I'm reading, I don't know, international news in animation, and every week there is like this company laid off, I don't know, 1,000 people in the US, etc. It's because the AI. So,
but it's always a good excuse for the companies to get rid of people, and maybe it's not a constant.
Yeah, hopefully, I don't know.
Because it's another article, but which I read that a company hired like 5,000 more people during COVID because there was a wave of new content production and development, and now they got rid of them basically because of AI. But maybe it wasn't the actual reason, but they just optimized.
I don't know. I have a friend who is a hairdresser, and he said that in this year he didn't have he was working a lot in commercials, and he said that there were only one job in this year in a commercial because every commercial is made by AI, so they don't need hairdressers. So I think it affects people, a very wide range of people.
And what about CAB? Do you experience this already?
When all this started, I thought I'm a little bit ignorant, or I don't know, because I wasn't really afraid, and it's still ongoing. I don't know, maybe I'm just, I should be more aware. But because in CAB, everything we do is like handcrafted, even though it's digital, but it's made with hand, and this is the signature of our studio. And for us, it's not really posing a danger because we are doing something that's very hard to replicate. And so there's that part. The other part is that I am very open to new technology, and I think if already some of the software we use already have AI tools in it, of course, and if this is making some tedious, as you said, Tibor, tedious part of animation a little bit faster, I think that's a good thing. And also, what was very scary, I think, for most people is that AI came, and it came from the fun part of our job. And this is something that I think we should be mindful about, that it's better if it takes over the more tedious things and not the fun part. And also, I think at the moment there's some sort of like Wild West era of the AI. So yes, there's a lot of commercials being made with AI, but actually I don't know if it's legal at all, because for example in Hungary, an AI-generated video, you cannot copyright it because it's not a artistic product. So there's that, and there's a lot of lawsuits going on in the background of everything. And also, just on the 26th of April, OpenAI discontinued Sora, which was like the biggest text-to-video AI generator. And it also came with the cancellation of a $1 billion Disney business, because it's not sustainable. So AI, even though it seems cheap, it's not cheap. It's just not you who is paying for it, but the investors. And the investors said that it has to be over. So the McDonald's era of the AI might just end because of capitalism.
Free McDonald's is over.
Yeah, probably. So I'm not really afraid of, but yeah, as I said, maybe I should be a little bit more scared. But for me, it's not coming for what we do.
And Viktor, your perspective?
I'm happy you're asking me less, because I could ramble on about this for hours. So I'll try to be short. So yeah, I think we have used it, for example, generating, like, if you want a scenic background, for example, then someone could take like days trying to figure that out, and then you can ask the AI to generate it and then go through it, make it more lively, or maybe tone it down or something. So it's great for that. And I think Bálint is very right about this being like the Wild West, both in like the legal stuff and both in technology. So what it can and can't do, and what it does well, and what it makes an absolutely trash job of. So all of that is very true. I think what, like for example, what now many like stable diffusion-based video generation is mostly a toy. Like I think maybe it will come to that it will basically be indistinguishable from what a human can do. I don't know, but I think it will become I think it will become to a resting point where, as I think the Photoshop example is very good, or you have a nonlinear editor, which was like a multi-million-dollar tool, I don't know, 50 years ago, but now you buy a Mac and you get an editing program just because you bought a Mac, and you can do some pretty great stuff with that as well, or with your iPhone or whatever. So, but that didn't kill the, I don't know, the editor as a job. Even though you can buy a Mac and you get an editing software. So I think it will find its place, and I don't think that it will destroy the industry or whatever, because I think the idea, for example, what we wanted to create, the idea is fundamentally human. So no AI will come up with like, hey, let's do a movie about something. So you can make it write a script. Maybe it will be good. I don't know. I don't think those are good scripts or whatever, but like all our scripts are absolutely handcrafted, for example. Like all that is basically someone sit down, thought it through, and then some part of it, like as I said, backgrounds or whatever, or a texture you can generate.
Yes, Tibor, once you said that there is always someone behind the prompts, and there should be someone there as an artist or as a creative person or human being. Do you maintain this
just because, everyone probably in this room have a piece of paper and a pen. So everyone in this room can write the big American novel, the next big American novel. You know this term. So this is, just because you have a paper and a pen, you won't write the next big American novel. So I think this is AI. Mm-hmm. If it can be a tool, then if it can be a good tool, then it's fine. Of course, it can be a very, very bad tool as well. I think what in the artistic animation it will do, actually, to make the film festivals much more important, because I think there will be a kind of a silent protest from the animation industry. And, they will keep on doing very, very handmade films. And I think, the film festivals will be the kind of the zoo of these films. Nowadays zoos are the main job of zoos to kind of protect the endangered species. So I think, the handmade animation will be an endangered species. And, the film festivals will kind of preserve that and show that, which this is what we see now in the students, for example, that they really want something to make with their hands and not even with a computer. I think this is a kind of distancing themselves from the technology which is everywhere. I think the biggest problem what I see now in the art world, that every art now is suspicious. That, I see a lot of art and the first comment is there like, okay, this is AI. And then someone said, no, it's not AI, but oh, this is AI. So it's like, maybe, in 10 years we will only listen music before 2020, when we know that, okay, those were not AI-generated musics, and maybe with art the same. So for me, this is the very messy era that now whatever you do, someone will say, did you use AI? It looks like AI. No, it's not AI, but for sure it's
show the drafts.
Yeah,
Show your ChatGPT history.
Yeah.